Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I'd like to welcome all the devotees. Thank you very much for joining us today. And wanted to seek your good wishes and your blessings so that we can continue with the 8th canto. We're at chapter 17, the pastimes of Bali Maharaj and Vamandev, shortly to appear. So let's have a look at this verse. Prayo aduna te surayutanatha aparaniyati devi me mati yete anukuleshwara viprabhukta na vikramastakva sukham dadati.
O mother of the demigods, in my opinion, almost all the chiefs of the demons are now unconquerable, for they're being protected by the Brahmins, whom the Supreme Lord always favors. Thus, the use of power against them now will not at all be a source of happiness.
Would anybody like to have a guess who is speaking this? Who's actually saying this verse in the Bhagavatam? Anybody? Sorry?
Aditi.
No, she's the one who it's been spoken to. Who do you think is speaking it? Anybody? Have a guess.
Just thinking, yes, it's on my mind, but not coming out. Oh, demons are now. Oh, one of the demigods, Rishi, Raspati.
He did, yeah, he said that. Yes, that's true. But this particular verse is not by him. But he did absolutely, you're absolutely right. Brihaspati did.
In my opinion, that's Bhavan said, or Brahma.
Lord Vishnu.
Yes, Lord Vishnu himself. Lord Vishnu himself said this. Extraordinary. He himself is saying, can't do anything. They're protected by the Brahmins. So let's see, why does he say that? So chapter 17 is entitled, The Supreme Lord Agrees to Become Aditi's Son. Supreme Lord, being very pleased by the Payovrata ceremony performed by Aditi, appears in full opulence. And he agreed to become her son. So after Aditi performed the Payovrata ceremony for 12 continuous days with full undiverted attention, bringing under control, full control, her mind and senses, which resembled forceful horses, concentrating her mind upon the Supreme Lord Vasudev, the Lord, who was certainly very pleased with her, appeared before her with 4 hands and dressed in yellow garments. As soon as Aditi saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead present before her, she immediately got up, and with great ecstatic love for the Lord, she fell to the ground to offer respectful obeisances. So she was very fortunate. She had the Supreme Lord himself before her. Very, very fortunate. And he appeared in his full glory. This is how the Lord appears. He doesn't appear like a little crying baby, or a baby who doesn't cry but gets smacked on the bum so that he starts crying. This is how he turns up, dressed fully already. And she was, as we'll see it in a minute, she was drinking in the nectar of the Lord, how he looked. And notice here he's got slippers as well. Only a couple of places he doesn't wear slippers. Was it in Krishna in Braj. And Ramachandra in Chitrakoot. Otherwise, he comes with slippers. Aditi's throat was choked because of ecstatic feelings, and her entire body trembled with devotion. Although she wanted to offer suitable prayers to the Lord, she could not do so. And thus she remained silent for some time, feeling solace, observing the beauty of the Lord. Aditi appeared as though drinking the Lord through her eyes. I mean, 3 things came into her mind. Ramapati, the husband, Pati is husband, Rama is goddess of fortune. So he's the goddess, husband of the goddess of fortune. And the Lord would later on offer Aditi's sons all opulence. He's the Yagyapatim, the enjoyer of all sacrificial ceremonies. And then as how he appeared, she performed this Payavrata Yagya. And he's also Jagatpatim, Lord of the universe. And eventually he delivers the whole universe back to his mother. So Aditi offers prayers to Vishnu. Aditi then offered her prayers. O original supreme person, supreme controller, shelter of all holy places. You are the shelter of all poor, suffering living entities, and you have appeared to diminish their sufferings. Please be kind to us and spread our good fortune. This sort of prayer is not needed by the devotee. She doesn't have to say that, because Krishna or the Vishnu automatically will do that. Supreme Personality of Godhead, the super soul of all living entities, was very pleased with Aditi. And he replied that he understood her long cherished desire for the welfare of her son. He knows already. It doesn't have to be told separately. He also explained this verse that we just read. The demons are now unconquerable, for they are being protected by Brahmins, whom the Lord always favors. So this is extraordinary. Vishnu comes himself and says, I can't do anything. Not in this current climate. Thus, the use of power against them now will not at all be a source of happiness. Yes, sir, Naniman.
Was something similar spoken by Brahaspati as well? Being conquered by the sort of being the blessings of the Brahmanas or something. He spoke something like that as well.
That's right. He said later on you'll win again when they offend a Brahman or Brahmins. Yes. Yeah. That's right. And effectively, that Brahman was Vamandev.
Wow.
Yeah, the Lord himself. Very good, Naniman. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So one who's protected by the devotees, even Vishnu can't do anything. Can't do anything against that devotee. There's many pastimes actually which are in the scriptures to this effect. Especially there's a pastime of Hanuman one time being taken shelter of by a king who Ram was going to discipline. But even Lord Ram could not discipline that king because Hanuman was giving shelter to that king. And Ram was the supreme Lord, not just the supreme, he was a king as well at that time. He was a ruler. So you can see when a devotee is favorable, and a devotee is automatically a Brahman. So if we have the favor of the devotees, then we will always be successful in whatever we do. The Lord said that he will find another means to favor Aditi, because Aditi called her, and Aditi's desire was for protection of her sons, and he never gives anything other than what is desired. For his worship never goes in vain, but certainly gives the desired result according to what one deserves. So he said, don't worry, I'll find another way. We won't conquer the demons through arms or power, force. We'll do it differently. Because of Aditi's prayers and proper worship, as well as Kashyap Muni's austerities, he agreed to become their son and thus protect their other sons. The Lord advised Aditi to go and worship her husband, who was purified by his austerities. He further advised Aditi that even if someone inquires, she should not disclose this fact to anyone. That which is very confidential is successful if kept secret. That's why often devotees, they hide their beads. They don't show their beads to anybody because try to keep the bhakti covered. Try to not advertise. Hey, you know what? I do 100 rounds every day. Keep it a secret. So secret things become successful. So then what happened? The Lord enters Aditi's womb. After giving his word of honor to this effect, the Lord disappeared. Following the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Aditi engaged in the service of Kashyap Muni, who could see by samadhi, by meditation, that the Lord was within him, was within Kashyap, and who thus transferred the potent form of the Lord into the womb of Aditi. Lord Brahma, who is known as Hiranyagarbha, understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead had entered Aditi's womb. Thus, he offered prayers to the Lord. O Lord of the Transcendentalists, controller of the three modes of nature, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you again and again. O my Lord, you are the beginning, the manifestation, and the ultimate dissolution of the three worlds. And you are celebrated in the Vedas as the reservoir of unlimited potencies, the Supreme Person. O my Lord, as a boat is the only hope for a person drowning in the water, you are the only shelter for the demigods who are now bereft of their heavenly position. So this is the end of chapter 17. Any questions, any comments, anything you'd like to speak, say, share?
So the Aditi didn't ask the Lord, but he knew what her desire was, and then he started speaking. Yes?
Yes. She didn't need to ask, right?
She didn't need to ask, yes.
He knew.
Hmm.
And she didn't necessarily know what to ask. All she wanted was her sons to be protected. She didn't necessarily want, might have been one of her desires, but the main desire was to protect the sons, not to have the Lord as a son necessarily.
Yes. But still he appeared, isn't it?
But still he came, yeah.
That's only way. Okay.
It's extraordinary.
Why did he appear as a dwarf, Vamandev? Any particular reason or?
Actually, he's not a dwarf. Our Guru Maharaj used to say he's not come as a dwarf, he's come as a Brahman boy.
As a Brahman boy, okay.
Boy, yeah. So why as a Brahman? Because the Brahmins, like he already said to Aditi, that
Demons worship.
the demons could not be conquered unless he offended a Brahman. So only a Brahman could come and
Take away
Ali's opulence. Because because of the Brahmins, he's got all the opulence. Only they could take it away. So he came as a boy because he didn't want to be, well, he wanted to Bali to offer him some dhan, which he accepted, 3 steps of land. If it came as a man, then Bali may not have been so intrigued by Vamandev, maybe. Yeah. Interesting. So, unless there's anything else, we can. Pitamba? Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at the next chapter. This is the verse number 31 in chapter 18. Adhyagyayo sudatam adhyavedi vijatmajatvacharanavanirjanai hatam vabhiryam chabhuravo tatha punita tanubhi padastava.
O son of a Brahman, today the fire of sacrifice is ablaze according to the injunction of the Shastra, and I have been freed from all the sinful reactions of my life by the water that has washed your lotus feet. O my Lord, by the touch of your small lotus feet, the entire surface of the world has been sanctified.
So who might be speaking this?
Bali Maharaj.
Yeah, very good. You're on the ball. Thank you. Okay, so this chapter is called Lord Vamandev, the dwarf incarnation. I know it says dwarf. Lord Vamandev appeared and how he went to the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Bali, who received him well and fulfilled his desire by offering him benediction. So this is the summary of the chapter, how he went there. Lord Vamandev appeared in this world from the womb of Aditi, dressed in yellow and completely equipped with conch shell, disc, club, and lotus. So first he appears as Vishnu, four-handed form, the glorious form. And these are some features of him. His bodily hue was blackish in complexion. He was free from all inebriaties. His lotus face, decorated with earrings resembling sharks, appeared very beautiful. On his bosom was the mark of Shivatsa. He wore bangles on his wrists, armlets on his arms, a helmet on his head, a belt on his waist, a sacred thread across his chest, ankle bells decorating his lotus feet. An uncommonly beautiful garland of flowers decorated his bosom. A large group of bees making their natural humming sound invaded them for honey. This is invaded the flowers. Wearing the Kastuba gem on his neck. And his effulgence vanquished the darkness in the home of Prajapati Kashyap. So this is, so the previous picture was where the Lord appeared, but here he actually comes in front of Aditi as her son. So, very beautiful, very, very beautiful. There's a garland, there's even Tulsi garland here around him. And he's got the lotus flower, gada, chakra, shank, a helmet with earrings, Kastuba gem, armlets on his arms, bangles on his wrist. Really extraordinary. And he always in yellow, always in yellow. Of course, not ordinary yellow, very divine yellow. So, Lord Vishnu appeared at an auspicious moment on Shravan Dwadasi, known as Vijay Dwadasi. So maybe a couple of months back, it was this Ekadashi.
No, it's coming up.
Oh, is it coming up? Okay.
Shravan, may know.
Oh,
It's coming
Shravan,
up.
yeah. Good. When Abhijit star had risen. At that time, in all the three worlds, including the higher planetary systems, outer space, and this earth, all the demigods, the cows, the Brahmins, and even the seasons were happy because of the Lord's appearance. Therefore, this auspicious day is called Vijay, victory, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has a Satchidananda body, appeared as the son of Kashyap and Aditi. Both of his parents were very astonished. After his appearance, the Lord assumed the form of a dwarf, Vaman. So, does he appear differently in different forms? No, although the Lord assumes millions of forms, they're not different from one another. He's the same person with the same potency, the same eternity, and the same spiritual existence. But he can simultaneously assume various forms. His body is not material, and all his appearances and activities are divine. And his qualities are always increasing. He's, although there's nothing to increase, but this is the competition between the Lord and his qualities. They keep increasing, and he's always searching or discovering new things about himself. But it's interesting how he doesn't essentially change. It's the same. All the great sages expressed their jubilation, and with Kashyap Muni before them, they performed the birthday ceremony of Lord Vaman. At the time of Lord Vamandev's sacred tread ceremony, various personalities made different offerings. So this is quite good. Okay, many different devatas came. Suryadev, Savita came. He chanted the Gayatri mantra, Savitri. Brihaspati was there. He gave the sacred thread, Brahma Shutram. Kashyap Muni, the father, was there. He gave him the straw belt. Bhumi, Mother Earth, came, gave him deer skin. Krishna Jinam. The moon, Soma, he came, gave him the Brahma Danda, the staff. And Aditi, the mother, gave him cloth for underwear, Kopin. The heavenly deity, Swargalok, came, gave umbrella. And Brahma, the Ved Garbha, gave the water pot, the Kamandalu. The 7 sages, Saptarishis, they gave him kushagrass. Saraswati gave him the string of Rudraksh beads. Interesting. Kuvera gave him the pot for begging alms. And Mother Parvati, the wife of Sita, Bhagavati, gave him the first alms, Bhiksha. Very interesting how this is described in the Bhagavatam.
Prabhuji?
Yes.
Yes. When I was reading, it's a bit surprised that Mother Saraswati gave him this string of Rudraksh beads. Yes.
Why not Tulsi beads?
Yes, we're all thinking.
Yeah, very interesting, huh? Very interesting. So very potent, these Rudraksh beads. But
Yes.
I think we've got no idea on Rudraksh and how they work. But very interesting how she gave him the Rudraksh beads. Yeah. Anything else that was interesting, Mataji? Nanibin?
No, one second. This deer screed and a kusha grass, that is something that yogis sit on, isn't it? When they are meditate for their going on to the further development spiritually.
Yes.
That's sort of a bit surprising, yes.
Even the Brahmins use that.
They also sit on that, okay.
For the yagyas, yeah. That's very auspicious, especially the kusha grass, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, true. And it's interesting how Brahma, the Suryadev gave him the Gayatri mantra.
Gayatri mantra, yes. And the Kuber, the Lord of Wealth, gave him pot for begging alms. That's surprising. I think this is all for preparation for going before Bali Maharaj, isn't it?
Yes.
So it goes with the pot and the danda and.
Yeah.
Who gave him umbrella? Oh, umbrella was
Yes.
given by Swarga. Yes.
Yeah.
Swarga.
Swag, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, umbrella is a traditional paraphernalia for Brahman. Very true. Very interesting. And here is.
Oh.
And that's your reaction there was exactly the reaction of was it the sister of Bali? His sister had the same reaction.
Prabhu.
So Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, Sitaram here.
Yes.
When you say kus grass, Prabhu, it is something so that some little rats or serpent cannot come to harm the meditator.
Is it? Okay.
So because that person is in trance, is in trance, he does not know what is happening. Some creatures cannot come and hurt the devotee.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Very good. And in Mauritius, there is this kusha grass, isn't there? And the Indulekha you were saying last time.
We have so many. We have.
It also keeps away the insects and other things.
Yes, the insect cannot come and
yes.
it, you know.
That's true.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing. That's very good.
Very well.
In England, we have it.
No.
Only if we bring it on the aeroplane.
No, it doesn't grow here.
When you come to Mauritius, we can give you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we get asked from Vrindavan.
Very good.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
And I think Krishna, when explains to Arjuna how one should meditate in
Mhm.
chapter 6,
Yes, yes.
explains how a yogi should sit on a deer skin and then
Yes.
kusha grass and meditate, and then Vamandev has to go to Bali as a truly Brahman, proper Brahman. And Tulsi leaves, maybe because it's a more Vaishnav than Rudra's is more Brahman.
Brahmanical. Yeah, maybe.
So yeah.
Yeah, good point, actually. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, makes sense.
He's wearing it. Yeah, he's wearing it around him.
Very
Is
nice.
he, yeah, and the Bali Maharaj has to recognize this is the Brahman that's coming here. So.
Yes.
Good. So this, the reaction of Bali Maharaj's sister was exactly not even like you had. You know, oh, what a beautiful boy! I would love to feed him. And then, so Krishna fulfilled that desire as he came.
Yeah.
As Krishna, but she also later developed a little bit of anger towards Vamandev when he took away everything from Bali and tied him up. So at that time she was thinking, I should kill him. So Krishna also fulfilled that desire that she should try to kill him. But of course, nobody can kill the Lord, let alone anybody else. So she came as, do you know who she came as? Naliban? In Krishna Leela? She came to feed Krishna poison.
Putana?
Yeah.
Putana.
Putana. So that was the desire that she developed at that time, and Krishna fulfilled it in his pastime as Krishna.
Krishna saw her as a mother, isn't it? A desire.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that's why.
Yes.
That is amazing, huh? Who can think like that? Amazing.
Extraordinary. Yeah, it is extraordinary.
Okay.
Very nice. So, oh yeah. Then Vamandev exhibited his Brahman effulgence, after which actually overshadowed everything. After which he performed a fire sacrifice on the sacrificial field. So he himself performed a yajna immediately. Lord Vamandev then visited the sacrificial arena on the northern side of the Narmada river at the field known as Brigu Kutch, where the Brahmanas of the Brigu dynasty were performing yajnas. Wearing a belt made of munja straw, an upper garment of deer skin, and a sacred thread. Upper garment of deer skin. So this is upper garment of deer skin, I take it. Okay. A sacred thread, and carrying in his hands a danda, an umbrella, and a water pot, kamandalu. Lord Vamandev appeared in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Bali. Because of his transcendentally effulgent presence, all the priests were diminished in their prowess, and thus they all stood from their seats and offered prayers to Lord Vamandev. You can just imagine the scene. This little Brahmin boy comes in, full of effulgence, so amazing, and they all stood up, offered prayers. Bali Maharaj, jubilant at seeing Lord Vamandev, whose beautiful limbs contributed equally to the beauty of his entire body, offered him a seat with great satisfaction. Thus offering a proper seat to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always beautiful to the liberated souls, Bali Maharaj worshipped him by worshipped his lotus feet. Therefore, after washing the Lord's feet, Bali Maharaj immediately accepted the water from the Lord's feet on his head and felt that he and his predecessors had certainly been glorified. Even Lord Shiva accepts on his head the Ganga water generated from the toe of Lord Vamandev. So, then Bali Maharaj inquired of Lord Vamandev's welfare, and he requested the Lord to ask him for money, jewels, or anything he might desire. So Bali was very grateful to the Lord because the Lord had kindly arrived at his home. And what did that mean? All of Bali's forefathers are happy. Right? And who's the principal forefather that Bali will be thinking about? Anybody like to have a guess?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad, yeah. Absolutely. Prahlad will be ecstatic. At your place, he came as Nrsingadev, but now he's come as Bali, as Vaman, sorry. His family and entire dynasty have been sanctified. The sacrifice Bali is performing is now complete because of God's presence. The fire of sacrifice is ablaze according to the injunctions of the Shastras. Bali has been freed from all sinful reactions of his life by the water that has washed the Lord's lotus feet. By the touch of the Lord's small lotus feet, the entire surface of the world has been sanctified. So these are all the reasons why he was ecstatic. He knew this was no ordinary person. This has to be the Supreme Lord. And then he petitioned to the Lord, as we said here earlier. But I just wanted to read out the whole verse. Such a beautiful verse. O son of a Brahmin, it appears that you have come here to ask me for something. Therefore, whatever you want, you may take from me. O best of those who are worshipable, you may take from me a cow, gold, furnished house, palatable food and drink, the daughter of a Brahmin for your wife, prosperous villages, horses, elephants, or chariots, or whatever you desire. So Bali gave him a blank check. And Vamandev will call upon it. So any questions? That's the end of chapter 18. Any questions, any comments, please?
Haribo?
Hare Krishna.
So Bali Maharaj is supposed to have offended a Brahman, but is it Vamandev that he offends, or is it later on it comes, I suppose, the later chapters?
Yeah, he offended him.
Sukracharya.
Yeah, yeah.
Sukracharya
Yeah.
doesn't obey his order or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's the one.
That's the one, isn't it?
That's the one.
Because he goes against Sukracharya, his
Exactly.
spiritual master, then
Exactly.
that offense loses everything. But earlier on, he followed Sukracharya and he became so powerful. He took over the whole demigods and everything. So
yeah. That's right.
I was trying to think where
does he offend them?
Lord, I mean, by Vamandev, he receives them, he washes his feet. So how is he offending Lord Vamandev? But he's not offending, but it's a bit, okay.
No, but
later on in the chapters, it'll clarify, I suppose.
Yeah. But also, he sort of offends Vamandev as well, because he doesn't fulfill his promise initially, because he's got the 2 steps, and he's saying to Vaman, and he got it tied up, right? Where's my full donation then? So at that point as well, this is a small offense at that stage. But the real one is, as you said, he disobeys Sukracharya. So very good. Yeah, well done. Very good. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? Otherwise, now Indulekha Mataji is not with us. So who would like to read the lessons? Naniben, you can read the lessons.
Yes, Prabhuji, I was thinking. Okay, lessons. I got a bit of a cough. It's okay. Canto 8, Chapter 1. If we want, Hare Krishna. Chapter 1. If we want to listen to the past lives of the Lord to perfect this human life, we should inquire submissively from a bona fide spiritual master and carry out their instructions dutifully. Chapter 2. We are all living in the delusion that our wealth and family members will save us at time of danger. But actually, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead can rescue us at all times. Chapter 3. Our ultimate goal of life is to understand that we are all caught up by the eternal time and we may die at any moment. So we should take the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who can save us from the struggle of this material world. Chapter 4. If ever we are cursed by great personalities, we should accept it as blessings in disguise, because at the end the outcomes are very beneficial. Chapter 5. In this material world, possessing too much wealth is risky because one may become puffed up and not care about others. Thus, one may commit offenses and may fall down. Chapter 6. It is nice to welcome others to our place, even if they are not our friends. We should try to know their intention, and it could be for our own good. Chapter 7. At times, we are not happy with what comes our way, thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. But the Lord has His own plan for us. Chapter 8. Sometimes we may think that we are the controller of our lives, but we are controlled by the desires. Actually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the true controller, Ishvara Param Krishna. The Supreme Controller is Krishna. Chapter 9. The Lord always protects His devotees, even though both devotees and the non-devotees may be performing the same activities in the same field, but the devotee achieves better result at the end. Chapter 10. It doesn't matter how powerful some living entities may be, but if they don't take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are never successful. Chapter 11. Everyone is struggling to exist in this battlefield of life, thinking of power only, but no one is independent, since everyone is subject to the material nature. Chapter 12. To be freed from the dualities of material desires, one needs to simply engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord without any personal desire for sense gratification. Chapter 13. Many people use different kinds of yoga practices to achieve some success in life, but all they are temporary. Our ultimate goal should be to attain the favor of the Lord. Chapter 14. This present age is an unlimited ocean of faults, and our eternal occupational duty is to serve the Lord, who will surely liberate us from the miseries of this material world. Hari Bol. Hare.
Thank you so much. Very good. Okay, so we're missing a couple, so hopefully we'll catch them up next week. So instructions from these two chapters that we just did. Madhusan Babu.
Haribol, Hare Krishna. So, chapter 17, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Vamandev ki jai. When a person is favored by Brahmins and Vaishnavas, no one can defeat him. Even the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead does not interfere when one is protected by a Brahmin. It is said, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. The Lord's first inclination is to give all benediction to the cows and Brahmins. Therefore, if Brahmins favor someone, the Lord does not interfere, nor can anyone interfere with the happiness of such a person. So again, here is the emphasis. You have covered this in the chapter, but I think Prabhupada in the purport kind of emphasizes this fact that, Brahmins or Vaishnavas, Lord does not interfere Sri Prabhupada also explains that when a devotee utters the transcendental name, it is not a spiritual, material sound. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is naturally pleased. A devotee knows that the Lord is present everywhere, and that no one can please him simply by chanting his holy name. So when Aditi is expecting, and also is explained, that in chapter 18, that we should study the transcendental appearance of Lord Vamandev, and Srila Prabhupada emphasized that one must be very intelligent to understand the appearance and activities of the Lord's and his incarnation. And this is confirmed by Bhagavad Gita, the Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yoveti Tattvata. So like Lord Vamandev appears in front of Aditi in a full Vishnu form, and then takes on, although he manifests in the womb of Aditi, but doesn't mean that it is conceived like through like sexual intercourse or anything like that. The Lord appears in a very transcendental way. So we should understand that it's not a kind of a material activity. Okay, thank you very much. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's good that you emphasize that. Very nice, very good points. So, Hare Krishna, anybody, anything to say? Otherwise, we can go to the Nishinga Kavach.